Hey everyone, this is Bill, and welcome back to the channel. We're focusing on stock market investing today, and we appreciate you taking the time to join us. As I have previously mentioned, I think genomics and many aspects of the biotech world will be a major force in our world over the next decade. Given this, I view the arena as a space to make wide-ranging investments in an effort to achieve high returns over the next decade. The convergence of artificial intelligence, DNA sequencing, and gene editing is extremely powerful, housing the ability to cure diseases. The names in this overall space range from the major players like Pfizer to mid-range emerging leaders such as Illumina and CRISPR Therapeutics to many upstart small biotechs like Pacific Biosciences and Fulgent Genetics, a company we presented a video on a few months back. At the bottom of the pool are many small biotechs with future potential that are extremely exciting. However, these companies are unproven, finding their way with pipelines and clinical trials of new experimental drugs. Investing in these types of companies generally carries a much higher risk than reward. Events that are completely out of your control, such as a failed trial, can have significant negative effect on your investment. However, if you're invested in the right one, big gains can follow. I was fortunate to have that happen to me recently when a small investment in Trillium Therapeutics gave me a big win when Pfizer agreed to purchase the company in mid-August. But I'm also holding the bag on many other biotechs, hoping for some similar positive future news. With this in mind, many investors are searching for opportunities in biotech. We recently did a follow-up video on Inveric Biosciences, a company we profiled earlier, which has had a real nice recent run. And one of our readers, Susan, requested that we take a look at another company called Aquestive Therapeutics, a company which we do hold a small position in. Word on the street is that Aquestive, which trades on the NASDAQ under the symbol AQST, is poised for a big run. Well, let's take a look and see if we can get a good read on Aquestive. Aquestive Therapeutics describes their company as a pharmaceutical company that advances and commercializes medicines to solve therapeutic problems and meaningfully improve people's lives. They apply innovative drug delivery technology and scientific expertise to redesign important medicines. Their initial focus, supported by their current approved products and late-stage pipeline, is to improve medications and outcomes for patients with central nervous conditions. In reviewing the company, we note that the company states that, quote, they are advancing medicine, solving therapeutic problems, and improving lives. Their pipeline of medicines aims to overcome barriers that patients face with existing treatment options and provide new paradigms for treating critical and complex conditions, end quote. It is important to note that the company believes strategic collaborations are at the core of their business, whether they out-license their farm film technology to reinvent medicines or in-license adjacent assets for development and commercialization. Aquestive notes that they partner to solve through clinical and business challenges, that they offer industry-leading scientific and regulatory expertise, integrated capabilities to test and deliver treatments, and best-in-class efficiency to get new solutions to patients. When reviewing a biotech company like this, it is very important to review their pipeline. In Aquestive, we note that they are not a one-hit wonder, and they have several lines of action ongoing. Included among the product pipeline, we note the company's strategic partners as part of the aforementioned collaborations. Licensed products include efforts to combat opioid addiction, the prevention of nausea, and Parkinson's treatment. Aquestive also has their farm film product, which strongly enhances and advances their abilities to solve problems and generate revenue through collaboration. Let's now check the IBD ratings for Aquestive. Aquestive Therapeutics is very poorly rated, with a composite rating of only 11. The earnings per share rating is an awful 8, but many small techs also have similar ratings in this stage of company development. Although the group relative strength is good, the individual relative strength rating is also poor. However, we do want to take note that the accumulation rating is an A, and that indicates that investors are accumulating the stock, perhaps in anticipation of a forthcoming move higher. On the weekly chart from FinViz, we note two efforts to push the stock up toward the $10 range, but those attempts lacked the needed volume to facilitate and hold such a move. As we can see, Both efforts were followed by a significant downdraft. In this weekly chart from TradingView, there is much to learn. Following the blue diagonal line sloping down to the right, we note the stock very recently broke this downtrend, and that is noted by the blue arrow above the line. This is perhaps setting the stock up for a higher move. We shall see. In the 4 arrows beneath, we note significant volume on 4 different weeks during the bottoming process and in the recent upturn. I view this as a sign of accumulation that we discussed when we reviewed the IBD data. And in speaking of IBD here and in the investors.com chart of the stock, we can also see the break of the trend line being the green line there in the chart. We can see the clear break, and then down below with the arrow we can also see the blue marks that show the higher volume, confirming what we just discussed. Moving over to a daily chart from FinViz, we can again clearly see the break of the downward trend line and the movement upward, and then we see very tight range with very limited volume. This is a very bullish sign. This looks like this stock definitely wants to move higher, and we can see in the range this taking the stock up to about $7. So that looks like that is a very strong possibility for this, unless we get some data that we're unaware of. But in reviewing this chart with this tightening up on limited volume, we've already made the break of the trend line, and we do have a range up until about $7 here on a first move. So this is very encouraging for the stock. So there's a quick review of Aquestive Therapeutics. First, I want to say I am not your financial advisor, so what I do may or may not be something that you wish to do. So keep that in mind, please. But I really do like Aquestive Therapeutics, both long and short term. Now, I am a long-term investor. I rarely day or swing trade, but I do think there's imminent upside here and great long-term potential as well. Could this stock potentially get squeezed? Well, that is possible. But I think the range up to about $7 is reasonable for the short term, given our recent break of the downtrend. But the company has many irons in the fire, and one of these irons could result in a major breakthrough at any time. I will be holding when and if that occurs. Folks, thank you so much for watching. Please feel welcome to follow us on Facebook at Future Breakout, and do like and subscribe to our video and page if you enjoy these short stock reviews. Please take care. We'll see you next time.